it threw me off a bit when I didn't see the little circular mirrors in my mum's mirror.
Right.
So I was like, wait,
Yeah.
how am I meant to see?
Tilt the mirror down.
Yeah, we did that.
Right.
But yeah, it's for some reason it didn't look like it went far enough.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, the other alternative is go and buy some, because it's quite possible they're going to do the same thing as us, and that might be why they've stopped there.
Yeah.
So hopefully in a moment we can have a go at doing a parallel park manoeuvre with one of the vehicles a little bit further on, not this one, simply because the view to move off again won't be that great.
Okay.
Now, do you understand what's involved with the parallel park manoeuvre?
I mean, you either drive into it or you reverse into it.
It's reversing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Probably easier. Yeah.
It is easier to reverse into a small space.
Yeah.
You probably need 3 or 4 car length space to be able to properly go in forwards.
Right.
Whereas with reversing, you can probably do it in less than 1.5 car spaces.
Right.
Although on your driving test, you will be asked to complete it within 2 car lengths, and it will only be behind a single vehicle.
Right.
It won't be in a space between 2.
Right.
Okay. So the idea is we get next to a vehicle and reverse back round and try and finish it within 2 car lengths, which means the distance between the front of your car and the front or back of the car that you've used to park behind, or in front of, depending on which way round it is, can be up to the length of your car.
Right.
Okay. Now, in terms of my input with this, how do you feel that you want to proceed with the first attempt?
I think I'll try it for myself. I mean, if I'm about to crash into a car, feel free to put the brakes on.
That's very kind of you. Thank you very much.
But yeah, I think I'll give it a go.
Right, lovely. Okay.
Just got to find one now.
Well, I think there's a silver one.
Right.
Just as long as none of... This is the annoying thing about doing this. So we might just have to wait a moment. Yeah. So when we get the opportunity to, we can just move off down the road. As I think there's another vehicle we can use just a little bit further on. Okay. If not, we'll have a wander round. Yeah. And come back to one of those other ones. Yeah. That we saw.
Shall I just go now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Safe to go?
Yeah. Well, in that mirror it was.
So why did I prompt you?
I didn't look over my shoulder.
That's silver car.
Okay.
This next one. Let's try this. Well,
this one.
Yeah, we've come rather a long way now. Let's keep going.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. I wouldn't bother. I wouldn't do this one. We'll go on round. We'll have a little chat about some of that. We'll go left at the junction here. If you don't want to make life too difficult for yourself, by driving too far past it, because we're going to park behind it, not in front of it.
Oh, I thought we were going in front. Sorry.
Right. I thought that was where the confusion was. Take the next road on the left. I think you might confuse people a lot if you stop with absolutely nothing next to you and start reversing back. Right. People start wondering, what the hell is she doing that for?
Yeah.
What's the point of that?
Yeah, I guess we're just driven into that.
Yes. So there were a couple of vehicles around here. Yeah. But as long as we've got no one behind us, we could just pull up next to.
Yeah.
finish it in reverse. Complete the manoeuvre.
Is that done or?
Which way are the tyres pointing?
Not the right way.
Well, but where do you want them pointing?
Straight.
Okay. Are they straight?
Yep.
How was that?
Don't think it's too bad.
No, not at all. Yeah. Well done.
Thank you.
Just want to answer you some questions about
Okay.
it now. Was there any thought into what to do when, or was it just, oh, I think I know how to do this, I'm just going to get on with it?
I was just going to give it a go. Yeah. I think I had a few bits that I linked from other parts of driving, like when we were doing the reverse parking.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because you've done it really nicely, but I just want to put in also some thoughts about what if you didn't do it as well as you've done there.
Yeah.
So where we stopped next to that car, relative to that car,
Yeah.
how did you decide that that's where you wanted to start reversing, or is it, oh, yeah, this looks all right, or was it just looks okay to me, or was there any thought into where to start?
I mean, I looked behind. Wait, so once I'd stopped, you mean coming back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You stopped next to that car, and almost straight away, once you started reversing, you steered across the road.
Yeah.
So was there any thought into, yeah, this looks to be a good time to start doing it?
I know I'd clear the car if I kept going back a little bit and then bring the front round.
How did you know you were going to clear the car?
I just tell.
Right, that's fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What I would say to you is I thought where you started it was absolutely perfect, but I would also build into that where you were in relation to that car when you did it.
Yeah.
Where was the back of that car in relation to our car when you started turning? My guess is you don't know.
Yeah.
But where it was perfect.
Okay.
Now my guess is that back of that car was, if you looked at it, somewhere near this pillar.
Right. Yeah.
Right? How far round did you take the car across the road? Was there any thought into how far you decided to do that before you came back this way?
I looked, I can't remember if I looked here or if I looked in the mirror behind, but the curb, maybe it was that mirror. The curb seemed to be in the right place.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was not
hard to explain it.
yeah, it's not so much this curve, but it was when you're steering left, the car's going that way. How far round do I want to go? So it's where I feel is a good point, and it's not too little, and it's not virtually there.
Yeah.
Was there any thought into that, or was it just this looks okay?
I mean, there probably was some thought. Can't really remember. I just did it.
So thinking about it now, you're coming across round here. How can you describe what sort of position you want the car pointing compared to straight on or 90 degrees across the road?
About 45 degrees.
Yeah, it was roughly there.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you know it was safe to do that and to swing the car across the road?
What? Bearing in mind this side of the road.
I
looked.
Where in particular?
Behind and over there.
Yeah. Good.
Obviously there was nothing there.
And it's this awareness of
Yeah.
the next thing I'm going to do, what effect could it have? Yeah. So we've got that 45 degrees. So these are the things that get in your mind now because you did them.
Yeah.
But it's worth being aware of them.
Yeah.
and then we came back towards the curb, and at some point you decided this is where I want to start turning. Now I don't know how you worked that out.
I can't remember. I think I looked in that small mirror.
You did.
Yeah.
Yes. And you made what I think is a really good decision as to this is when I want to do it.
Yeah.
And if we'd had the issue that you had in the car park with the reverse park, see, the curb is roughly the same as the white line on this side. If he'd looked to be too far from it, what could you have done? While we've still got a bit of an angle.
Come back a bit more.
Yeah. Come back in a straight line.
Yeah, in a straight line.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's finish it in reverse. You'd finish this probably about a quarter of a car length nearer to that car. Could we fit this car in that space?
Possibly.
Yeah. If we can, it's only just.
Yeah.
So you've easily done it within the distance that they.
So in the test, that would be all right.
Yeah. But I think now it's building all those bits in. Now there is a reason why I think the back of that car roughly here is really good.
Yeah.
Because when you do come, and I'd much rather you came back too far, and I'm going to touch the curb and stopped, because back of that car roughly here, you will build in a space to use to go that way to straighten up and get the tyre away from the curb, rather than go that way into the road. And when you're going back, what else do you want to be doing apart from looking for when we're here and looking for when we're there and looking over his shoulder? For all sorts of bits that could be going on left, right of the car, where else should you be looking?
Just like out the windows, blind spots.
Yeah, but which way are we going?
We're going back.
So?
Behind.
How many times did you do that?
I thought I did it enough.
I think it probably could have been one or two more.
Yeah.
Particularly every time you've changed the position or you're about to change the position again.
Right.
Just have another little glance to make sure it's still okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I was looking up there, but yeah, it's always better to...
But looking out the back window. Yeah. In terms of how you did that, your position out from that car when we started, and everything to do with it, really nice.
Thank you.
So can you prove it wasn't a fluke, please?
You
go and do it with the next car up, rather than use the same car twice. Okay. Are you going to do it on your own again?
Yeah.
Good. Well done. Observations there. This car's a little bit more tricky because you've got the front of it rather than the back of it.
Yeah.
But this time, let's be consciously looking at where to stop with that car in relation to ours. And consciously thinking about the position across the road, which was unconscious last time, but great.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
I think that was probably even better, because I'm closer to the curb. Probably same distance, maybe a little bit more. But
In terms of your control and the end result, cannot fault that. Just going to be a little bit picky.
Yeah, that's fine.
This last bit here, as we're coming in, how many times did you look out the back window?
Not. I don't think once.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So, and the speed you've got, you could have just had a quick glance out there. Just one more would have really satisfied an examiner.
Yeah, okay.
When you started turning across the road, how much steering did you put on?
Not too much to start with, I don't think. But then it got a bit more, so then I had to straighten up a bit.
Could you have put more on earlier?
Yeah, because then I'd be finished close to the car and the space.
Yes. Yeah. I think you could have put a lot more on and got that angle.
Yeah.
But you know they're the only things that I can find to pick up with.
Yeah.
Do get that steering on a bit earlier to get across the road earlier.
Yeah.
And just one or two more looks out the back window. But otherwise, that really, really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, well done. I thought that was
Thank
all I
you.
can say, really.
Yeah.
Just put those extra bits in, and this will be really, really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, good.